It seems like the coalition is finally crashing and burning. Things between Jagmeet Singh and Justin Trudeau are just not working out in their favor, and Pierre Poilievre is there to scoop up the pieces. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I really want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. And once you subscribe, there's a little bell icon that shows up. If you could just do me a favor and click and tap that, it just adds a layer of insurance so you can actually be notified of upcoming videos. YouTube does this very weird thing where it's either an automated system or they manually do it to channels that they dislike or that the government dislikes even more than YouTube themselves. They unsubscribe people and they don't like to send out notifications. So we're fighting an uphill battle, but I think we're doing a pretty good job. We're almost at 400,000 subscribers. And before we get into it, I just want to encourage you, or remind you rather, that if you want a matching sticker of Trudeau being penetrated or any of the other stickers that I've ever featured on this channel or this awesome hat, the link for that is down in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So we're going to start off with Pierre Poilievre, who talks about Jagmeet Singh, and then we're going to take a look at what Jagmeet Singh has to say about Pierre Poilievre, and then we're going to take a look at just how this coalition is crashing and burning. Let's take a look.
Look, I think Jagmeet Singh needs to qualify for his pension, and so he's holding on for that pension, right? He's in it for the pension and the perks. He's shown that. He's sold his principles to keep Trudeau in power. He's helped Trudeau double housing costs, quadruple the carbon tax, unleash crime and chaos in our communities, and he seems to be comfortable to keep doing that. So until such time as Jagmeet Singh remembers who he actually works for, we're stuck with this radical authoritarian Trudeau government.
And this is the worst part, is that Jagmeet Singh, as you're going to find in this video, he likes to go out and publicly talk crap about Pierre Poilievre, but more importantly, Justin Trudeau, which is very weird. It's very weird, all things considered, because why would you talk crap about the person you have a coalition with? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And in fact, lots of people within his party, federally, you even have provincially elected NDP members that are jumping ship. Let's take a look at the federal level here. You have Pierre Poilievre on Twitter, who said, or on X, who says NDP MPs are jumping off Jagmeet's ship before going down in defeat for voting to hike the carbon taxes, free violent criminals, ban hunting rifles, and double housing costs. And of course, he's referring to this Ontario NDP MP, Charlie Angus, who will not run in the next election. And since this has happened, this is at the federal level, but you have at the provincial level as well, NDP members that have actually crossed the floor onto the conservative side at the provincial level. And this is really bugging Jagmeet Singh because his own party has lost confidence provincially and federally with the federal leader. You're not seeing this in the Conservatives. No one from the Conservative side has ever said, we don't have faith in Pierre Poilievre. In fact, it's the opposite. You have members of other parties that have lost so much faith within their own party that they are trusting the leader of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre, with their career by jumping to the Conservatives. The coalition is over, folks. But let's take a look at this interview that Jagmeet Singh recently did on mainstream television.
Well, looking elsewhere for affordability, of course, April 1st, we saw the carbon tax increase happen. What do you say to criticism that this is actually making life less affordable for Canadians?
Well, I would start off by acknowledging that people are worried about the increase in any sort of tax or any sort of cost because the cost of living is so high. That's why people are worried, and I understand that, and I recognize that. If we break it down, what are the real concerns? Like, what are people really worried about? What I hear from people is groceries and housing. Okay. Well, if we break down what is actually causing the higher costs in groceries, we see that it's actually corporate greed. It's not any other cause. If you look at the major driver that's significantly increasing prices, it's corporate greed. And I find it really suspicious that Pierre Poilievre is not going after that. He's attacking all sorts of other things, but he isn't actually pointing out the major reason why our food prices are so high. Mm-hmm. We're the only ones doing that. So to folks that are upset, I say, I get it. I get why you're upset. Let's actually fix the problem, though. And I would also point out that Pierre Poilievre has made this a big part of his push to help out people. Well, two of the biggest provinces in our country don't even have a federal carbon tax. No. BC doesn't have one. And Quebec doesn't even have a carbon tax, period. They actually have a cap and trade system. So why would Pierre Poilievre go out of his way to lie to those folks and say he's going to act something that doesn't exist? That proves to me, I think it should prove to Canadians, he's not actually interested in making life better. He's just interested in inflaming anger that's not actually towards a solution. I'm talking about a solution. Let's go after the real cause. Let's go after the corporate greed.
Yeah. Another thing with affordability, especially here in Hamilton, is housing, of course. And we had a couple big announcements recently, Liberals announcing $6 billion. But they did come with some conditions there, including the acceptance of fourplexes right across the board. Ontario Premier Doug Ford has made it very clear that he does not want these fourplexes to be available universally. I'm just looking for your thoughts on this new money and also the conditions that were placed around it. Do you think this is the right decision to get more affordable housing built?
Well, my concern with the Liberal approach is while they're focused on building homes, they haven't really emphasized the importance of building affordable homes. I've spoken to a lot of builders, and they tell me, well, we have to buy the land at market rates. We got to buy the materials at market rates. It costs whatever it costs, the market costs for building and the work that it goes into building a home. So we're going to sell the properties at whatever the market rate is. If you do a lot more, it's just going to be a lot more of whatever the market rate is. That's not something affordable for most people. Young people I speak to say, I can't afford the market rate for a home or for a condo. Seniors that are worried about losing their place are saying, I can't afford the market rents that are being posted. I look at those and say, I'm going to lose my home and I'm not going to have anywhere to go. So what we're really focused on is let's make the priority affordability. And the only way we do that is if the government actually makes it a priority to say we're going to invest in building homes that are truly affordable. And when I talk about affordability, people should have money left over after they pay their rent or their mortgage, where they can save up some money, they can buy the groceries that they need for their family, pay the bills. So we're looking at it should be 30% or less of your income should go towards housing. Then we're talking about true affordability.
Yeah. Well, what about the fourplexes, though? If this was your policy, would you make it include a universal acceptance of fourplexes?
Well, the idea of density is something I support, like the idea we should be able to build more homes in smaller in less land. I think that idea in general. But again, I would focus on where's the condition of those fourplexes or whatever is being built, where's the condition of them actually being affordable? We are also focused on looking at not-for-profit housing, looking at cooperative housing. We want homes that people can actually afford to rent or to buy.
And if this is what Jagmeet Singh actually believed, then he would really take a look at himself in the mirror and say, hey, why is it that I'm supporting a party that is literally not building anything right now for the people while going out and telling everybody that I want to build things for the people? He is a leech on society. And as you heard Pierre Poilievre in the opening video, he's just after his pension. And so he's lost confidence in Justin Trudeau. His party has lost confidence in him, and the people have lost confidence in him and Justin Trudeau. Pressure is going to be getting to these people very, very soon, because everywhere they go, they get heckled, they get confronted. And I mean, it's crazy to think about this, but they are human after all, even though they're just consciously ruining the lives of 41 plus million people. They do have to sleep with themselves at night and sometimes each other. I mean, there are rumors about Jagmeet and Trudeau having some sort of love affair. But hey, who am I to add fuel to that fire, allegedly, hypothetically? I don't know, it's a rumor I heard somewhere. Let's take a look at this other video of Jagmeet giving a press conference.
We look at how tough it is for people to make ends meet. We know that families are struggling right now to pay the rent, to put food on the table. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling like they're drowning. Their head is barely above water. That is such a pressure that families are feeling right now. There is really at this point feeling like there's no hope. And hearing people, we thought, what can we do to use our power to give people a break? So we fought to push this government to bring in a national food program in schools. That's going to provide relief to kids. That's going to give some breathing room for parents. They don't have to worry about their kids getting a healthy meal at school. It takes one thing off the plate for those parents, and it makes sure those kids can focus on going to school. We look at how tough it is for people to make ends meet. We know that families are struggling right now to pay the rent, to put food on the table. They're feeling overwhelmed. They're feeling like they're drowning. Their head is barely above water. That is such a pressure that families are feeling right now. There is really at this point feeling like there's no hope. And hearing people, we thought, what can we do to use our power to give people a break? So we fought to push this government to bring in a national food program in schools. That's going to provide relief to kids. That's going to give some breathing room for parents. They don't have to worry about their kids getting a healthy meal at school. It takes one thing off the plate for those parents, and it makes sure those kids can focus on going to school. We look at how.
Yeah. I mean, the kids that are going to school, we shouldn't be focusing on, it sounds horrible because I'm a parent and I would love for my kids to be fed, for free. That would really take the cost off of me, the financial burden. However, if life was affordable, who cares? Who cares? And so this is the disgusting tactic that these people are taking. They're making it unaffordable for everybody, and they're providing these handouts, these little incentives to everybody, saying, vote for me and you'll continue to get this. And that when you look deeper at the root cause, it shouldn't be that. We should not be relying on the government to feed our freaking children at school. Are you insane? Are you out of your mind? If you support that instead of supporting making life affordable from the get-go, there is something really, really, really wrong with you. And that seems to be the biggest difference between conservative mindset or values and everything else in the world. Next up, we have Jagmeet Singh again, giving another press conference here.
We had Premier Fury sending an open letter to Ottawa calling for a pause on the April 1st carbon tax increase. It's not new to see opposition to the policy from the premiers, of course, but we have seen some pushback too from NDP premiers, such as former Premier Notley and Wapkanu, calling for a pause on home heating for natural gas, similar to what's been done for heating oil. What do you think the government should do here, especially with the cost of living lens? Should the carbon tax go up on April 1st?
What the Liberals have done is created a lot of chaos. They opened the door to this chaos when they started pitting one community, one region against another. That was unfair. What we've said for a long time is we want to absolutely have a price on pollution. The price of pollution, we're really realizing the cost of pollution. It hurts our communities. It means that we can't breathe the air. It means that our water gets polluted. So there is a price, there is a cost of pollution, and there should be a price on it to deter people from polluting, to deter large corporations from polluting our environment. So that makes sense. But the approach has to be fair. It has to be one that's fair, and it can't be one that is borne on the shoulders of working people. And that's been our values. We've been very clear where we stand on this. Of course, we want large corporate polluters to stop polluting our water and our air and our land. We should deter them from doing that with the strongest means possible. And we should also make sure that everyday people are not bearing the burden of our fight against a very legitimate and important fight against the climate crisis. And so we proposed our solution to how we would approach things like home heating. We said, let's take the GST off home heating. That's our approach. We've long campaigned on it. We don't put GST on essentials. We've made that decision as a society. In a country as cold as ours, home heating is an essential. We need to heat our homes. And so that's one thing we said, let's take the GST off of home heating and let's put investments in place, real investments to allow people and buildings to move away from ways of heating and cooling homes that are expensive and hurt the environment. And let's make investments in things like heat pumps so that it's easier for people, for homeowners, for buildings to shift to a easier way to heat the home that's less costly and better for the environment.
I don't know. I think that Canadians are more worried about affordability, being able to feed their own children and themselves, than they are about the climate crisis. I mean, there is something going on. Things are heating up, and I think that is due to, I don't know, maybe we're all sweating because we can't afford jack shit anymore in this country. But what do I know? I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think this coalition is going to last, or do you think it is going to crash and burn? It seems like everybody and their mother has lost faith in Jagmeet Singh. People are jumping ship, including their own party. And of course, everyone has lost faith in Justin Trudeau, minus the people that have lost their brain. They seem to somehow, somewhere, there is at least one person out there that supports Justin Trudeau. And as they say in the South, bless their heart. That's where we're going to end today's video, folks. On our way out, I'd really like to encourage you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.